up, gamers? Welcome to SIMplieSims. Sit back, relax, and let's dive into a new world together. On today's episode of the 30-day Create a Sim Challenge, we are doing an elegant sim, and my idea for this was kind of like new money style, if I have that correctly. I'm hoping I do. My brain is a little wonky these last couple of days, so I apologize. But yeah, kind of just like what you would see as an elegant, very rich person in movies. Kind of like what's the word? The Great Gatsby. So not necessarily in the same time period, but that same kind of like elegant style of like wanting to have precious jewels and very modest attire that or not necessarily modest attire, but very kind of covered up attire that still kind of shows off a little bit, but you know, is definitely from the higher branded clothing lines and things like that. So that's where my brain was with the idea behind this sim today. I was going to use the default skin color that we were given because I was already kind of happy with the face that we received. But I just, those neutral and cool skin tones just look very death-like to me. They don't look very much like what actual people's skin color would look like that's alive and healthy. So I went with the more warmer tone and then kind of tanned it out a little bit to give it some glow. And then I, of course, gave her a little birthmark on her face just because I thought, you know, give a little bit of contrast. She may be an elegant person who doesn't put tattoos on her skin, but maybe she already has skin marks, beauty marks, freckles. And then in this case for her specifically was the birthmark on her cheek. And I thought about doing a blue hair for her because, I mean, who says that you can't be elegant with colored hair? And so I started out with the dark blue, and then I fixed the eyes a little bit to make them a little bit how more I wanted this sim to look. Same with her nose, her mouth, her ears, a little bit of her cheeks, and then her profile as well. And then getting the eyebrow, I was having issues trying to find like a well-groomed eyebrow that was very thick. I didn't want a thinner eyebrow. I didn't think that that would look good against her face. So I went with these. I kind of kept them like that just because that was the only one that we really have that's nicely groomed, has a good shape, and is, you know, very thick. And then just going in and resizing her face a little bit to kind of elongate it, going back and fixing her profile just a little bit. I did like that she had that little bump in her nose, which I thought was really pretty. And then here we are starting to try and do the blue hair and trying to figure out hairstyles because, of course, we have a lot of elegant updos. We don't typically have very many elegant long hairstyles, in my opinion. But I do love this hair that we got from Eco Living. I don't even remember what it's called. But I didn't like how the blue was translating across, and so I found this more brownish blonde hair color and went with that just because it looked like a nice contrast against her very, very light skin. And then just trying to figure out what jewelry we have to kind of play with that fits that elegant look. And I was also trying to figure out if she was more of a gold girly or a silver girly. And to be honest, I like the silver contrast on her skin. Gold looks a little bit too much like out there, and I'm not a professional. I don't know how to match like jewelry to people myself. I am a neutral skin tone, so I'm able to use gold and silvers. So me trying to do what looks better on other skin tones is a little bit hard just because I don't exactly know what it is supposed to look like. And what kind of contrast it's supposed to give against the skin, because both gold and silver give a very different look on my skin. So if you guys could help me out with that, that would be awesome. If you guys think that the silver looks really great on her, also let me know about that. But yeah, that's kind of my idea behind how I wanted to do her jewelry a little bit. And then of course we're going in here and setting her up to kind of have a bit more of a body that I like to have my Sims to have, a little bit curvier, a little bit, thicker, and those glorious thighs. So now just trying to figure out what to put her in as a everyday outfit, and I found this one with the little collar and the belt. Looks very, if I have my information correct, and my brain is working the way that it should be, I believe this is from like 1950s, 60s, because of that collar and the long dress and then the belt to kind of cinch in the waist. And I liked this purple on her. I know it is a little bit dark, but I think it looks really nice on her. And then, of course, going in with some long French nails, giving her some white toes, and making sure that translates across all of her outfits. And then I do like that we have these tights. And of course, I'm going with the lighter to do kind of like a sheer tight for her, and then giving her some heels. A lot of her styles are very much heel based. So pretty much all of them are going to have some sort of heel, some sort of like heightened arch to her. And then a little bit of like putting the streamline between her accessories and her shoes, because I feel like that's what people do when they style. I'm not really good at that, but I liked how it looked. I think the ensemble was very nice. And then trying to figure out what ring to give her. I didn't really think about her being married, but maybe she's taking an oath to herself, and so she is wearing that ring for. It could even be like, what's the word? Like a little bit of an achievement of like where she's come from and how far she's become in her achievements and things like that. So it's kind of like a gift to herself. She's definitely a bit of a snob. She definitely is a foodie, but she is definitely materialistic at the same time. So I think she has a very picky palate when it comes to a partner. And then for her elegant formal look, I wanted to do this very long dress because I think this dress is actually really pretty. I want it in life. But I don't know how I would go about finding it. I don't know if it even exists. And if it does exist, if it would be within my budget, because I don't like spending a lot of money on clothes. I'm more of a thrifter, but I'm sure she, as in Janine, probably has people who makes clothes for her now. Or maybe she's a really elegant thrifter who's able to find these type of clothes. But for me, I've never come across good clothes when I thrift. I think it's just where I am. Other places where I've lived, they've had really awesome thrifting items, and a lot of good finds. Just currently where I live, for some reason, it does not happen. So I went with that white and black because I thought it was really nice for a good formal. And then trying to give her a little bit more neutral. I don't think she's going to be wearing makeup to work out. And then giving her an updo. I thought the little chopstick clip was perfect for her bun because it's a little bit more relaxed. She's probably just doing yoga, or she's going to go ride horses or something like that. So it doesn't need to be super duper stable on her hair, but it is up and out of her face with a little bit of those frame bangs on the side. And then for bedtime, I thought about doing that very elegant robe again, like we did for, I believe it was our princess. If I'm remembering correctly. I'm doing so many of these videos, so my brain does not remember when we did what. But I thought that maybe like for bedtime, she's a little less elegant. She likes to have just this long t-shirt, let her hair down a little bit. It's bedtime. She doesn't have to be elegant all the time, just when she wants to be. And for her, that's every other outfit except for athleisure and sleeping. So I even thought about it a little bit more. I was like, do I need to give her a dress? And then I was like, I'm going to give her a nightgown. I feel like a nightgown keeps that kind of elegant, formal attire being consistent across all of her outfits, instead of like a t-shirt. And then I went with either blue. I don't know why. Blue just looks really nice on her. I think it's blue and purple. It just looked really, really nice against her skin. It's really pretty. I don't know. I thought it was lovely. And then for party outfit, just trying to figure out a hairstyle because I wanted it to be up, but I didn't want it to be like formal. I wanted it to be a little bit looser. So I thought maybe she would slick her hair back and put it into the wrapped bun, as you see. And I think this hairstyle is actually for people who try to do like overnight curls because it looks like there's like ribbon in it, or like a sock or something. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but the accent of it is pink. And I was like, I like the slick back a little bit into a bun. I thought that was really, elegant in a way. And trying to find a matching dress for this was a little bit hard. A lot of these dresses that are coming from the wedding DLC that we got, I really love because, I don't know, they're more elegant and out there. I love the neckline on them, especially this like gray one at the bottom with the lace, kind of, what is it called? The lace like bustier area, and then it goes down to like a short sleeve. I really love that. I think it's really pretty. I like that we have a lot of things that are like that, especially for this specific sim, because I felt like I had a little bit more ability to be creative. And then, of course, I found this cute little dress that has the cherries on it, and I thought it was perfect because of her hair accessory that went with it. And then I felt like I was doing too much pink and red, so you're gonna watch me end up changing it actually. But this outfit I think is super duper cute. I just don't think I could do it justice with all of the overwhelming ideas that I had, because I was like, oh, I could do the pearl necklace, and I was like, wait, this is kind of more like 30s, 40s, 50s, and that wasn't entirely the look I was going for. And then I realized that I was starting to give her gold, what is it called? Gold jewelry, and I wanted to make sure that it was silver all the way across. And so I went back and changed the formal dress, and this is actually the dress that I wanted to use for the elegant sim. I think I talked about this in one of my other videos, but this fur lined dress with the gloves, I wanted to use this for her specifically so bad. And so I'm so glad that I went back and fixed it and changed it back to that instead of having that other dress. And then, of course, for party, I did the similar piece. I tried to match the pink a little bit. And then, of course, we went without the gloves because the full outfit doesn't include them, but I didn't want her to have them. This is a party time. Like, of course, she wants to look nice, but I don't think she's trying to look super formal for this. Maybe it's a little bit of a get-together, a dinner party, something of the sort. And so I just tried to include the pink again in that just because of her hair. And then for her bathing suit, I did this white. I believe it's white and blue combination. I'm not entirely sure what that color is, but to me it looks like off-white. So I went with that and then did a high-waisted bottom. And then going back through to make sure that her makeup is consistent too, because I get a little ahead of myself. I complete an outfit and then I forget that I didn't do the makeup. Especially if I've already done the hair, I kind of forget. So going back through and giving her a little bit more party look to her makeup instead of it being like the typical daily makeup that we had originally on her. And then I decided that I didn't want to do that hairstyle anymore, the slick back. I kind of liked the straightened down and more what is it called? Just slick back down and like straightened behind her just to show off that neckline with that really pretty dress. And then for the hot weather, I wanted this hairstyle, but I didn't want the colored bandanas, and I finally found it. I wish that we had all of those hairstyles in one and then we could just change the color. I know that that's a huge thing with mods, but I wish the EA kind of simplified the hairstyles a little bit in that sense, especially when they're giving us in-game accessories like this, where this hairstyle has this bow. I feel like we should be able to change the color and it doesn't just go based off of the hair color that you choose. And I also found this very lovely button-up kind of dress that's a little bit long around the knees, and so we accented it with the black heels, and then of course we do some pearls. I don't see any of the necklaces come through, unfortunately, but I did make sure that I put them on there at least, because in my mind maybe she just has them tucked away in her shirt a little bit. And I was gonna do this one, but the pearls are just way too big. Like they're very what is her name? It's the wife on the Flintstones to Fred. I forget. But they both have pearls, but they just look like cartoonishly large. And then we have these very, very small ones, but those didn't come across in her button-down shirt. So I just gave up and went with the small ones and just thought that maybe she the collar, like maybe she buttons the collar all the way up and that's why you can't see them. And then for cold weather, I liked this updo and then putting a beanie over it. I know it doesn't probably look entirely that good, but I love the way that it's out of her face. And then it gives her these cute little bangs and a little bit of curls to her hair. And then we're going in, because it is the cold weather, I gave her cold weather makeup, and then we did this really nice, I think it's a 3-piece cold weather suit with the sweater and the jacket and then the pants and stuff. I thought it was really nice for muted tones, especially because it is winter. I don't think that Janine would be really doing flashy colors during the winter. And then just trying to find a complimentary hat that is going to go with it. So that is really all that I have for Janine. She is the Elegant Sim for day 11 of the Create a Sim Challenge. And I'll let you guys read the description a little bit here if you wish, but the fun never stops on SIMplieSims, because the simulation is currently over. But like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I will hang out with you guys in the next video for day 12. Have a great day. Bye.
Oh.